You are now listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report. Flash Report.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We up in this piece ready to talk some Pelicans basketball. Shout out to PPR, Big Q, and DC. I am Lexxah Drew, the voice of the PPR Flash Reports. Kudos to all the listeners. Appreciate y'all tuning in. So, the Pelicans are back in the win column. After going up against the top teams in the league and coming back against the Rockets to win that game, and also a close game against the Spurs. But one thing that we have realized and that we have to come to terms with is that it's very clear that the Pelicans are not at that level just yet as far as being a top tier team. Pelicans still have levels to go to even be considered, let alone in the discussion of being a top team in the league and a true playoff contender. But there are some things that we can learn from these top teams that we struggle with. So I have a question. What do teams like the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Phoenix Suns, the Clippers all have in common? Well, for one, they all have a clear understanding of their identity, of who they are. The hierarchy of these teams have not been compromised. The stars on these teams have great or solid chemistry. Guys understand their roles. These teams have proven that they can win close games, blowout games, and coming from behind games. All these things that I've stated about these teams comes down to one thing. They have all adopted the C word. Well, Lex, what's the C word? The C word is consistency. They have a level of consistency in the way that they execute, in the way that they play the game, which is at a high level. Now, I understand the Milwaukee Bucks, they're struggling right now, but in their defense, they do have a new coach. And a lot of times when you get a new coach that has new philosophies, you're going to struggle a little bit, a lot of times. So they're going through that stint. But I'm pretty sure by them having vets on their team, quality stars on their team, that they're going to redefine their identity and find themselves back, to their winning ways. But this Pelicans team has struggled with the C word. They struggled with consistency. Now, up to the Spurs game, the Pels have been winning one way. They've been winning by blowing out teams, but they have not been winning via close games. That has been an Achilles heel for the Pelicans, executing down the stretch, and along with everything that I named in the beginning. That game was a great game, and really, I hope it's something that carries over for future games, because that's one thing that this team needs to work on is closing out games. Not every game is going to be a blowout game. We can't expect that every single time. We know that the Pelicans can lose blowout games very badly. We know that the Pelicans can lose close games. But one thing that we have not discovered about this team is if they have the ability to win close games. And they were able to do that against the Spurs. Now, yes, it was against the Spurs, but sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes getting a close win against a team that's not doing very well. The Spurs are a legitimate professional NBA team. On any given night, any team that's not doing well, that has the worst record in the league, can get one of these top teams at any time. That's why it's imperative that you have to come with it every night. You have to bring your A game every night. You have to play at a high level every night. It may not be the same, but it needs to be as close as possible. On many nights, we see that the Pels, we don't know what type of team we're going to get. As I said before, it's like a split personality. It's like a bipolar type team. I don't know. There's some type of mental dysfunction there. Man, we've known all season the Pelicans have to play with more effort and energy. The starters have to do a better job of kicking the game off with that intense vibe. Shouldn't be relying on our role players, and particularly Jose, to do that. I mean, come on. As a starter, first of all, that's saying that you are the best players on the team. The starters give us the best chance to start the game off on a high note. So basically, that's like being the first leg of a 4x1 track race. You got to start us off. By the time you get to the second leg and the third leg, those are the role players. They come in and they carry that energy transferred from the starters, transferred from the first leg. Like, they're upholding the energy or increasing that energy, but they don't start from rock bottom to give the energy to the team. That's on the starters. That right there has got to change. And then by the time you get to the fourth leg, hey man, those are the starters again. All right, hey man, carry us home, bring us home. But that's asking a lot from the role players to do that. There's a lot of discrepancies that plague this team from the start of the season to now. There hasn't been major improvement or growth. Not really. When the Pels discover something that works, they actually end up reverting back to their old ways or old habits. And why they do that, I don't know. It's almost like, they're going through withdrawals. And so in saying that, the team becomes stagnant. So if there's no upward progress or no progress, it's a downhill effect. The team is just swimming in mud. It's like they're just going in a whirlwind, but there's no upward production. I mean, that's just like with the Point Zion. All of us have talked about how the Point Zion works. And you know what? We don't know if the Point Zion, if we can use that consistently, but we don't know that either. You know why? Because it hasn't been used enough to determine that. When they emphasized before that Utah game that they were going to use Point Zion, I was very interested. Okay, hey, I want to see what y'all do here. I want to see if you all continuously use this. Because in order to get better at something, you have to continue to do it. But again, it still looks the same. I think that was more of a publicity stunt. Change can still come, but we'll see if they can adopt the C word against the Raptors coming off of a double OT loss against the Thunder, though. But that's all I got for y'all. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Speak your mind in the comments on how you think the Pelicans can adopt the C word. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I am Lexxah Drew, and I'm out, y'all.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all